Yo, what is up, Diamond family? It's your man Vivi, and welcome back to the VVS Academy. As you guys know, I'm here every week dropping off gems, teaching you to record and mix your music better. So if that sounds good to you, stick around. Look, man, I got a really crazy video for you guys today. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the rap vocal mixing tips you need to mix like a pro. All right, these are the things that took me a long time to learn, man. I'm going to share them with you guys really quickly. All right, so let's jump right into it. I won't even over talk it, but look, if you're still struggling to get your vocals to sit inside the beat, balance themselves out perfectly every single time, you've got to check out my free course down below. It's going to completely change the game for you, teach you my simple technique for balancing out your vocals and your beat perfectly every single time. It takes about 15 minutes. It's completely free, so check that out. All right, I won't over talk it anymore. Let's go ahead and jump right into the track. We'll play back the song as it is, and then we'll dive into these tips. Let's get it.
Don't bend his head. I feel like it's harder to mention. They just be playing these games with me and they scared, but know that it's hard to admit it. Life short and dangerous, never complain again, but I get my all till I'm finished. It's a lot I want in life, you see. This 9 to 5 be killing me. Job hard out here for sharp and spree. See, all I want is property. I'm a young.
All right, bet. So as you can hear, I'm in the middle of mixing this song, right? And it's already starting to get that vibe, get that feel to it. And that's going to bring us right into tip number 1. One of the best things you can do is save your lead vocal for the end of the mix. Don't start out mixing your vocals. Start out getting the rest of the track together. I'll show you what I did first. So the first thing I do is balance. I make sure that nothing is clipping. And after that, I'll go and engage this clipper.
Don't bend his head. I feel like it's harder to mention. They just be playing these games with me and they scared, but know that it's hard to admit it. Life short and dangerous, never complain again, but I get my all till I'm finished.
And what this is doing is it's taking the very loudest peaks in our signal and it's clipping them off so that they don't cause us to cross zero. All right, so after I engage my clipper, I go and I add this plugin from Pro Tools called the Pro Limiter. Now this one I didn't even know was free, so if you subscribe to Pro Tools, go sign in to Avid and look at what downloads they have for you, because this is one of them and it's a really dope plugin. So I'm going to show you guys how to use this in the context of in the context of balancing out your vocals and your beats. So look at this here. They have this button right here called listen. Let's press that and hear what we hear. And so what we're hearing is actually what's being limited or what's being cut from the signal that's crossing 0 dB, or that's crossing whatever the threshold is that we set. So we set our threshold at -2, meaning that anything that crosses -2 dB is going to clip it. It's going to cut it down, right? This works phenomenally for balancing out your vocals in the beat, though, because if you listen, you got to hear what you hear first. So if you're hearing just the vocal come through, like that's what's getting clipped, then we know the vocal is too loud. If you're hearing just the beat come through on its own, then we know the beat is too loud. But if you're hearing both of them at the same time, when you hear those little spurts of audio, then you know you're in a good place. So listen, and I'll try to mess with the fader so you can hear what I'm talking about. And so as you hear, anytime that you hear audio come through, it's usually on a snare hit or a loud hi-hat hit, and you hear the vocal right alongside it. So it lets us know that we have a good balance. So now watch this. If I take our all vocals, and I'm just going to drop it down by maybe that much. Let's go down 7 dB and hear what we hear now when we listen. And so what we hear now, we're getting a few little places where we can hear the beat coming through without any vocals behind it. And then the vocals also duck down. When we do hear the vocal, it's a lot quieter. And so the thing is, we want to be able to hear the vocal right up there with the beat. And every time the beat comes through, we want to be able to hear the vocal with it. That's going to let us know basically we have a pretty good balance of where we are. All right. So first thing that I do is balance out the track. I'm going to save mixing the lead vocal for the end. Right. So we engage our clipper. We've added our limiter. Then I'm going to go right here and add another compressor. And this is literally just to keep everything in line. So watch how this compressor moves.
They just be playing these games with me and they scared, but don't bend his head. I feel like it's harder to mention. They just be playing these games with me and they scared, but know that it's hard to admit it. Life short and dangerous, never complain again, but I get my all till I'm finished.
So that's the second tip. You need to use a compressor not just to compress things, but also to give you information. So this compressor that I'm using right here is an indicator. I know based on how hard or how dramatically this needle moves is going to tell me how dynamic my track is. Meaning this compressor is at the end of the chain, right? And so if it's hitting like -3, -5, I know that my track is way too dynamic, meaning there's too much difference between the loudest points and the quietest points within my mix. And that means, one, I'm not going to be able to get it that loud. And if I can't get it that loud, it's not going to sound professional. All right. So we want to make sure that this needle is moving, but just barely. And it's not doing a whole lot of compression or a lot of gain reduction. It's really giving us information so that we can then use to affect the rest of our mix. All right. So let's look again.
Don't bend his head I feel like it's harder to mention. They just be playing these games with me and they scared, but know that it's harder to admit it. Life short and dangerous, never complain again, but I get my all till I'm finished.
And so basically, this compressor, if it's moving too much, we know that there needs to be more compression to the mix, but we're not going to do it here. We're going to use it. We're going to do it elsewhere in the mix. We're going to determine if it's our beat that needs more compression, if it's our vocal, which obviously it is in this case because we haven't touched our vocals yet. So this compressor is going to tell you exactly which move to make. It's going to tell you if, like, hey, everything's good, you can leave it here, you don't need to touch it, or things are over compressed or they're under compressed based on how fast this needle moves. All right. So the third tip that I can give you guys is really going to level you up in Pro Tools, and it's really basically the one that I started with, is saving your vocal mixing for the end. But the second part of that is getting the song to sound as good as it possibly can before you go down and start to individually affect the vocals. So if you listen to this track, and what I'll do is let me bypass the effects so you can just hear kind of the dry signal of the vocal coming through. Let's listen.
Don't bend his head I feel like it's harder to mention. They just be playing these games with me and they scared, but know that it's harder to admit it. Life short and dangerous, never complain again, but I get my all till I'm finished. It's a lot I want in life, you see. This 9 to 5 be killing me.
Right, so we can hear, one, we've got a good balance. We can hear the track already sounds pretty good. Like, it sounds like, hey, if I didn't know that this wasn't finished mixing, I might could give it a pass, right? So that's the place that we want to be in before we start to touch our lead vocal. Because if we get the vocal sounding, kind of how we want it to, but then we still have the rest of the track to mix, the way that vocal sounds is going to change. And then you're going to be making moves or not making moves, trying to preserve that sound of that vocal. Instead, just dial the sound in at the end. When you set everything else, we've already got the song pretty much as loud as we want it to. It's going to go up a little bit once we compress the vocals. We got it pretty much as loud as we want it to. We've got it balanced pretty much where we want it to. The effects sound good. The song sounds good. It's just the vocal needs to be a little more polished. And to more experienced ears, you're definitely going to be able to notice, like, hey, this vocal isn't right. It lacks compression. There's some EQ issues, blah, blah, blah. So basically, you can get by with not even touching the lead vocal. Like, if somebody put out this mix, or they came to me and was like, hey, what can I improve on this mix? You're in a really good place right here. Now we're going to take it over the top by affecting the lead vocal. So remember, the third tip is just get your track to sound as good as it possibly can before you start affecting the vocal specifically. Like, affect the track as a whole. Get the entire track sounding as good as you can, just using some balance and some EQ and things, and then double back and specifically focus on the vocal. That's what we're going to do now. So let me go over here to my lead bus, and I'm going to open up the VMR, and we're just going to start off with some compression. I'm going to start with some pretty fast compression because he's rapping really fast, and I want to control those super quick peaks.
Don't bend his head I feel like it's harder to mention. They just be playing these games with me and they scared, but know that it's harder to admit it. Life short and dangerous, never complain again, but I get my all till I'm finished. It's a lot I want in life, you see. This 9 to 5 be killing me. Just hard out here for sharp and spree. See, all I want is property. I'm a young nigga learning on my own.
And just another little plus, I guess, of working with your lead vocal at the end of your mix, you're going to notice that you need to do a lot less EQ. There's going to be a lot less dramatic EQ moves that need to be made when you save your vocal mixing for the end of the track, because again, we've already got the song sounding pretty good. Like, we got the song sounding pretty close to done, meaning that whatever we need to change in the vocal is going to be subtle things, but they're going to be things to kind of elevate and lift it to that professional sound that we need. So speaking of EQ, let's grab some EQ and see what we can do.
Don't bend his head I feel like it's harder to mention. They just be playing these games with me and they scared, but know that it's harder to admit it. Life short and dangerous, never complain again, but I get my all till I'm finished. It's a lot I want in life, you see. This Don't bend his head. I feel like it's harder to mention. They just be playing these games with me and they scared, but know that it's hard to admit it. Life short and dangerous, never complain again, but I get my all till I'm finished. It's a lot I want in life, you see. This 9 to 5 be killing me. Job hard out here for sharp and spree. See, all I want is property.
I want to follow up this compressor with the Black 1176 because I just find that this compressor adds a little more body, a little bit more low end to the vocal, and his voice just has, it's more of a higher register. I won't say it's high pitched, but he does rap in a higher register. So we want to make sure we preserve the low end of his vocal. You notice we didn't cut anything below like 500. We want to keep as much of that as possible for this specific instance, for this specific vocal. And that may change as we compress it more. We'll see. But for right now, I want to add more body. I want to add more weight to the vocal.
Don't bend his head. I feel like it's harder to mention. They just be playing these games with me and they scared, but know that it's harder to admit it. Life short and dangerous, never complain again, but I get my all till I'm finished. It's a lot I want in life, you see. This 9 to 5 be killing me. Job hard out here for sharp and spree. See, all I want is property. Don't bend his head. I feel like it's harder to mention. They just be playing these games with me and they scared, but know that it's hard to admit it. Life short and dangerous, never complain again, but I get my all till I'm finished. It's a lot I want in life, you see. This 9 to 5 be killing me. Job hard out here for sharp and spree. See, all I want is property.
And really, I'm going to say like we're pretty much 90% there. Let me grab one more compressor. I'm probably going to add 2 more compressors and another EQ, and I'll explain to you why I'm using what I'm using. So first we're going to use this LA2A, which is an opto compressor, and it's a slower compressor, so it's going to kind of smooth out the rough edges that are left from these faster compressors. You want to set your compressor in a way that you don't hear it working, you don't hear it opening and closing, and so it's kind of harder to do with faster compressors, especially when the artist is also rapping fast. And so this compressor is here to make it sound like we didn't use any compression, if that makes sense, or to limit the compression that you hear. So let's dial that in.
Don't bend his head. I feel like it's harder to mention. They just be playing these games with me and they scared, but know that it's hard to admit it. Life short and dangerous, never complain again, but I get my all till I'm finished. It's a lot I want in life, you see. This 9 to 5 be killing me. Job hard out here for sharp and spree. See, all I want is property. I'm a young nigga learning on my own, but don't get it twisted, needed help, I hit my mama phone. Yeah, I got them day ones by my side, rocking right or wrong. When the spring, summer breeze come autumn.
And really, like, I'm not even seeing too much visually that I would like to cut. I'm going to roll off some more of the lower frequency. We don't really have to, but I'm going to do it just to clean up any kind of rumble, or, you know, if the bass was too loud coming from, you know, bleeding into the mic through the control room, any of those things, I want to just make sure that we control that a little bit better. And I actually think I'm going to use this shape instead. Yeah. We'll go this way, and let's sharpen up this edge a little bit. Perfect. We're all the way up to 200. Let's roll back a little and let's see.
Don't bend his head. I feel like it's harder to mention. They just be playing these games with me and they scared, but know that it's hard to admit it. Life short and dangerous, never complain again, but I get my all till I'm finished. It's a lot I want in life, you see. This 9 to 5 be killing me. Job hard out here for sharp and spree. See, all I want is property.
And so when I was saying that the track was probably going to get louder as we, you know, compressed and moved, it's because of things like this. So a quick little EQ tip: when you're EQing vocals and you take away kind of build up or heavy frequencies, it allows you to make the vocal louder. So you're going to turn these frequencies down, but when you turn the vocal up on the way out of your EQ, or as you turn the vocal up as a result of reducing the volume, you're just going to obviously get more volume from the vocal, but it's going to be a cleaner vocal because we've cut out a lot of that frequency buildup that we didn't need. So the last thing I'm going to add here is an RVox, just a classic Waves RVox, and it's just something about this plugin that just makes a vocal sound like a vocal. Like, it just gives it that industry, you know, vocal sound. We're going to be aiming for 3 dB or so of gain reduction, so just watch the number down here.
Don't bend his head. I feel like it's harder to mention. They just be playing these games with me and they scared, but know that it's hard to admit it. Life short and dangerous, never complain again, but I get my all till I'm finished. It's a lot I want in life, you see. This 9 to 5 be killing me. Job hard out here for sharp and spree. See, all I want is property. I'm a young nigga learning.
I think that's too much. So I'm going to dial it back. So again, even if you have a plan in mind, always listen to your ears, man, because my plan was definitely 3 dB, and like, no, that's wrong. So let's hear what it sounds like now.
Don't bend his head. I feel like it's harder to mention. They just be playing these games with me and they scared, but know that it's hard to admit it. Life short and dangerous, never complain again, but I get my all till I'm finished. It's a lot I want in life, you see. This 9 to 5 be killing me. Job hard out here for sharp and spree. See, all I want is property. I'm a young.
And so you can hear now that once you get your vocal kind of controlled and compressed, now the dub or the ad-libs or whatever, now they're sticking out like a sore thumb because they're uncontrolled. They're just kind of jumping out there. There's nothing to tame those vocals through compression and through EQ. So remember, man, these are the tips that I'm giving you guys week in and week out. And if you need a little bit more help, drop me a line down below. My name is Vivi and I'm here for you. Remember, stay humble, McDonald's only. Peace.
Don't bend his head. I feel like it's harder to mention. They just be playing these games with me and they scared, but know that it's hard to admit it. Life short and dangerous, never complain again, but I get my all till I'm finished. It's a lot I want in life, you see. This 9 to 5 be killing me. Just hard out here for sharp and spree. See, all I want is property. I'm a young nigga learning on my own, but don't get it twisted. Needed help, I hit my mama phone. Yeah, I got them day ones by my side, rocking right or wrong. When the spring, summer breeze come autumn, letting bodies fall. See, I'm too real to thug you out, cause I respect you.